Oneg, what a delight to see you again. And we're here today to talk about trauma and about your approach to trying to get people to get over trauma and even improve from what they were before. And you basically wrote your pieces of advice and approach in a new book. And the book has the phoenix on the cover. The
The
phoenix
Phoenix
is very
Awakening.
famous, the phoenix awakening, and the phoenix is this metaphor for rebirth.
Hmm.
And of course, burn patients often think about the phoenix as referring to us because we got burned and hopefully we rise from the ashes. But it's true for lots of things with this metaphor of saying trauma is terrible, but then there's something about getting over it and so on. And you have your own story with a complex mix of sources that got you to where you are. Do you want to say a couple of words about uh, like your personal life?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first of all, thank you for this conversation, and it's great to see you and be here. So, thank you for this opportunity. A little bit about myself. I am a trauma therapist and most recently the author of The Phoenix Awakening. Um, I have a holistic approach to healing that bridge the gap between biology and psychology. I also like to combine innovation and technology in the clinic. So I use frequency medicine and biofeedback. Um, yeah, and my
Biofeedback, by the way, I every time I've used biofeedback, it's been amazing. Like I said, okay, I had no idea that this is actually what's happening, and then and the amazing thing is the ability to control that. Once you get feedback
yeah,
about
it's
whatever it is, brain activity, muscles, heart rate, you can actually control it. So, um, but a
yeah.
bit more about your personal history.
Yeah, so my journey into this field has been deeply personal, as you said, influenced by my own experiences with trauma and with a unique neurological condition that prevents me from recognizing people by their faces. So um, it's called visual agnosia and prosopagnosia, and it's actually very limiting condition, and it can be quite traumatic when you
Yeah.
can't recognize the people around you, especially those closest to you.
Yeah.
So the
So you grew up. I know a lot about your growing up. You grew up in a very, very complex family, lots of very challenging situation, plus inability to recognize faces. And inability to recognize faces might seem, why do we need it? But the fact is, you don't know who you've met before. There's lots of awkward moments. I think it's both very sad, but it could also be a beginning for a comedy,
yeah,
for a
yeah,
comedy show. And then you went on a journey for yourself and now for others to try and understand trauma.
yeah,
And I think the big for me the big insights that you have is to first of all say that we usually think about trauma as a traumatic event, but
hmm,
there's a separation between what caused it and what we experience inside of our body. So that it doesn't have to be a big event. It could
yeah,
be smaller event that keeps on repeating. It doesn't
hmm,
have one thing. It could be multiple things. So the first insight is to say that when people say, "Have I experienced a trauma?" people look for, is there something big? Like in my case, I can say, "Okay, I was badly burned." Very easy to say that this is traumatic event. It took me a long time, for example, to understand the difficulty of learned helplessness in hospital. Right? It didn't seem like that's a traumatic event because it happened every day, but nevertheless, it had a huge, huge impact. So that's the first thing.
yeah,
And then the second thing is that because of your physiological approach to life, you both show evidence for the way that we hold trauma. For
yeah,
example, one of the papers that I thought was amazing is to look at the brain imaging of people with PTSD and to show that there are whole areas of the brain where they basically are trying to repress their thoughts, and there's a lower activity for that. There is something continuously active, and in the book, and and that's maybe what I want to talk about now, is you basically believe that not only is the book is the body physiologically reacting to trauma, but we need to kind of help the physiology as almost a first step,
Yeah.
and that's where biofeedback is coming. So tell us a little bit about that. So what, like in your view, so let's say it's me, and I have a big trauma and I have some small things. Kind of physiologically, what are the kind of things that I should start practicing and start thinking about?
Yeah, so as you said, trauma changes the brain, changes the nervous system. So it's also the first step when we deal with trauma and we want to heal from trauma. And the book approach um, well, the book touches this um, thing, and actually merges scientific tools and exercise to regulate the nervous system, to calm the body, to teach the reader how they can influence on their physiological responses.
Yeah,
Um,
because you think about this vicious cycle where stress in the body, in the same way that we suppress thoughts and memories from trauma, you think that the physiology is a barrier to understanding what is going on with us and to healing. So you're saying the first thing you need to do is to figure out how to read your body better and how to calm it.
Yeah. So yeah, before we go to construct new narratives to our painful experiences, we must learn how to relax our body, because we know from over 150 years of trauma research that integration paired with relaxation heal trauma, reduces the symptoms of trauma. And the book is designed to help the reader to rewrite his story and learn to influence his body and his mind. So there's three main parts in the book. The first part is about trauma and the diverse origins of trauma, and how we can actually identify if we have some invisible wounds that needs healing. And the second part is actually um, more it's the work itself, it's the
Yeah.
exercise, the tools, the strategies that we can apply to our life to overcome trauma, and also to see trauma as something beneficial, something that can help us to do an identity leap, to be more resilient in the face of adversity.
What's
And
called post-traumatic growth is to
yeah,
basically say none of us is in favor of trauma, but if it happened, we might as well find the bright spots and see if we can have
yeah,
some growth as a consequence. Um, so we have the first part is to even tools to identify trauma.
yeah,
Then the second is like the workbook.
yeah,
Here's some strategies for relaxation, strategies to think about our body's physiology.
yeah.
Um, there's
Resources and some of the exercises from cognitive behavioral therapy that we know
yeah
that is
yeah
very effective
yeah
with.
changing the narrative, rethinking about this. Yeah, and I have this metaphor that our memories are a little bit like a file, and we have this file and we have these memories, and then we bring them up and we process them, we think about them, we rewrite them, and then we write them back, and the new version is being rewritten. But the issue is that if we don't feel safe or comfortable and so on, then we can't handle those files. So we need to first get to that situation, then we can do next. Um, Oleg,
Just
you
to
know,
say,
I think we're in a period that there's so much complexity in the world, and I think that whether people feel they have been in a trauma event or not, I think that doing some things to calm our physiology down could be good for everybody. And I think that those exercises, um, for me, they're hard to do. I find the search for peace. I think peace of mind is a tough struggle, but
it's a
I think
skill.
it's a skill. Oleg, I thank you so much,
Thank
and
you.
I'm wishing you great success with your practice and with all the things that you do, and of course with the book. So
Thank you
I hope
so
to see you
much.
soon. Bye.
Bye.